So I'm looking at the cab today and the sleeper. I want to open this hole up to make a room to slide the seat back. So I'm looking at what it's going to take to do that. I've measured the hole here, and it looks like if I take another 10.5 inches out of this opening here, the seat will move all the way back. So we're going to the sleeper to see where we need to work on it. Plus I'm getting all the stuff out of the sleeper to replace the floor and get it where boots can get in there and get started on the inner panels for the upholstery. Alright, it looks like this panel right here was modified whenever they opened this hole up originally. And this hole originally was probably just a back window hole. So they opened it up. They cut this brace out. You can tell it's been cut right there. That's not a straight line. They wouldn't have done that at the factory. Same here. So they cut this angle out, and they cut it back to this. That's where they decided to make their cuts. So we're going to bring it back to this mark right here. So this line of rivets will come out, and we'll take and we'll move this whole support, which one's a piece of square tubing and one is the original. This is like a U-shaped piece right here. We'll slide that over, and that's how we'll frame the opening back out. Now we're not going to do the passenger side because that seat doesn't need to move back because it's not going to be a driver position, so this opening won't be the same on either side, but that'll be okay. Alright, I've gotten this support here. It was actually, like this side, it was an actual factory piece to the sleeper, and then a piece of square tubing that somebody added when they cut the other sleeper, when they cut the other hole in it. So I've got all that loose now, and what I figured, and I think I told you this a minute ago, that I need 9 3/4 inches. So what I'll do is I'll measure from the edge of the panel where it goes here over the opposite, and I'll figure that out here in just a second. I think it's 10 1/4 or something like that. Hang on, I'll tell you. It's 10 1/4 from that seam right there over to where the cut needs to be. So I'll measure over 10 1/4, and that'll give me the extra 9 3/4 that I need, so I'll have room to move my seat back. Another reason why I'm not doing the other side is the boot ring that I have. I'm limited. I only got 20 feet of it, so I don't want to go over the amount of boot ring I have. And like I said, there's no reason, because the passenger seat doesn't need to go back. The driver's seat needs to go back because I lost some real estate for the accelerator and all by moving the engine back. So I need to gain some of that room back, and the way I'll do that is by being able to slide the seat back a little more. So we'll get this by opening this hole up a little bit more. Alright, so I conferenced with Boots, and naturally she said I needed 3/4 of an inch more than I I had. That's what we got. We're going a little bigger with our hole. So there we go. Alright, so we got this thing opened up. And now need to put the reinforcement back in the to support this hanging piece here. So we'll put that rib back in here, and that way it'll support that piece of metal. So we'll get that done here. Alright, so this is what the hole looks like. The reinforcement they had around the door frame I stuck back in, but I'm probably going to get, this is actually channel here. I'm probably going to get some square tubing to go in there, but that's how it finished out. Finished out pretty nice. Need to put some square tubing or something down there too, just to finish out this opening and up there. But that's how it was finished out on the other side. I mean, before, this was actually before. This is how it was finished out before I cut anything out. So, and I've got the floor pretty much cleaned out and ready to rip up so we can replace it. We've got 3/4 inch marine grade or pressure treated plywood to go back in here. So we'll get that cut and get that in here. And Boots is gonna get started on the interior in here. We're gonna pull all this old insulation out and put in the walls. We'll put foam insulation, not spray foam, the board foam, and then over top we'll put that that other sound deadening thermal barrier in there, and get this thing where it'll be as cool as it can be. And we'll put all the metal panels back in here. So we'll do that, and then Boots has got some plywood that she'll attach the upholstery to, and put the upholstery panels in here. And I've got part of actually most of the bunk framing out of here. So once I get this door opening worked out, this block right here is like a little cubby that had 2 speakers in it. So we'll get that all worked out, and that'll pretty much be it on the sleeper, I think. So, like I said, we'll get on this and get it done, and we'll show you as Boots gets on the interior. All right, we're working on the inside of the cab today, and looking at opening up. That mark is the edge of the seat. So we'll work on getting this brace out, and then making a mark and trimming the edge of the cab. Then we'll move the support for the cab structure over some. Somebody had asked about the rust in the floor a while back, and these old trucks had a wood floor in them, and sometime in the past when this truck was restored, somebody put down a thin layer of sheet metal over the top of the floor and underneath the floor, And with the boot ring around the sleeper leaking and leaking around the air conditioning unit and the roof and whatever, all the metal did was hold the moisture in the plywood, and then the wet plywood kept moisture against the steel along with the carpet and just rusted the steel out and rotted the floor. But we've got all new floor to go in here, and we're gonna excuse me, oh boy, stirred up some dust there. So we're gonna clean this up. We got pressure treated marine grade plywood we're gonna put down on the floor, and might even put, I had talked about putting a laminate up underneath of here, some kind of plastic, but then I thought about it, and I'm gonna be running the exhaust right up underneath the cab floor, so that's probably not a good idea because it'll melt. But I thought about getting some aluminum the same thickness as the toe board here, and maybe putting under this plywood just as a little moisture barrier. But we'll see when we get to that point. So y'all hang tight and we'll show you as we go. Alright, so this is what's under the floor prior to cleaning up. Just a bunch of loose wood and rust and stuff, rust from the plate that was over the floor, and a bunch of rusted off bolts that have to get the remnants of the bolt out of the floor panels so we can bolt the new stuff down. But overall it's going to clean up nice, and then we'll put a new piece of metal in here and she'll be good to go. So that's what it looks like up underneath the floor. Right, we got the floor supports all cleaned up, and we're going to put a coat of paint on them, and then we'll get to cutting some floor out and put some floor down so we can get in here and work without falling through. And we'll get on that and show you what it looks like when it's all painted and done.